Here we go. Okay, good evening YouTube and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 already of the FPL family. My name is Lee, this is Sam. And the very first thing we've got to do today, guys, the very first thing to say is a massive thank you to you guys. Absolutely a massive thank you. We had some really great news yesterday, as you guys, I'm sure that follow us on Twitter, at FPLFamily, or follow Sam on Instagram at FPLFamily, will absolutely have seen that we're working with the guys from FPL Towers this year, along with a few of the other guys, Nick and Tom from Who Got the Assist, FPL General. There's a bunch of us from the community that are getting involved with the official Premier League, official FPL, which is going to be great. It's going to be ace. We're a little bit nervous about it, guys. I don't mind telling you. A little bit nervous about it because I've seen some of the videos that they're putting out there with some of the experts that are from the community. And by the way, how they got to us when they were talking about experts, I got absolutely no idea. How they got to us, I got no idea. But guys, without you guys tuning in, without you guys watching us and tweeting about us and liking the vids and stuff, we would never have even got on the radar, would we, to be fair? So thank you so much for the support. It's been awesome.
In-laws are amazing.
The in-laws, and you guys know who you are. The guys, I mean, there's welcome to everybody to this live stream, and there'll be a lot of new people that haven't seen us before, right? Because we've had, the Twitter has gone insane. It's gone absolutely insane. I've had something like 500 or 600 followers in 24 hours. It's been insane. But we want to say a special thank you to, you know, the group of you that we call the in-laws, right? And you know who you are. Been here since day one when it was that crappy little video that we put out there. It was just me and you chatting, and it was the sound was bad. The graphics were like, never mind 4K, they were like 1K. It was awful graphic. Not awful, but you know, it was real.
Luke's definitely upgraded us where graphics are concerned, that is for sure.
It was real starter YouTube, don't know what you're doing territory, and you guys tuned in and you liked it, and it was great, and that's where we are today, and now we're working with the blooming official guys. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous.
It was a nice early birthday present for you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and you know, I was buzzing when last night when that come through, and I saw a few of the guys on Twitter saying, "Oh, well done for the shout out, well done for all that," and I was just like, "Oh, what's happened?" And then I saw the page come up. And we're on there. I just thought, yeah, that's cool. That's a nice early birthday present. Yeah. So it's been a hectic day, a hectic 24 hours.
It's been a bit chaos today. Obviously, as you know, it's Lee's birthday today.
Yeah.
Very old today, aren't you, darling?
So, don't tell how much. Don't tell how much.
So yeah, it's been a busy day, but we made it back. Made it back in time to stream.
Well, you thought it would be a really nice thing to do, and it was a really nice thing to do. We don't live too far from Southend-on-Sea, do we? In Essex.
Not really.
We don't live too. We're probably about an hour away from Southend-on-Sea. So you thought, given that the weather in the UK, for you non-UK viewers, it's been amazing, isn't it, for a month? It's been sun, sea and surf and 35 degrees, and it's been glorious. Today, it's absolutely peed down, has it not?
I think you're quite lucky to see us looking like we are now. We did look like drowned rats about half an hour ago. So we are. And
it was a bit of a rush back from Southend, and there was traffic on the M25, which is the motorway that goes around.
It's not our friend.
It's been a bit of a hectic day, guys. I don't mind telling you, but
that's what birthdays are for.
That's what birthdays are for.
And you're wearing
new
a Liverpool shirt.
The new shirt is on. I feel season ready now. We need to get you the new one. Which one do you like? Do you like the Spurs one that kind of... the home one is white and it kind of tapers down into a blue. Do you like that?
I like it on the boys when they're wearing their shorts. I don't like it on me and my jeans, but I do like the away shirt. But then I had the away shirt last season, so we'll see.
So which of the Spurs' new signings are you most looking forward to seeing the shirt on?
Toby!
It's not a new signing.
But he stayed, Lee!
Sam. So, a word on this, guys. Well, obviously we're going to say hello. We're going to talk about who we are in a minute and get to it. But a quick word on Spurs' lack of signings. I don't be worried about that.
No, I'm not worried. We were listening to TalkSport on the way home. There was a lot of very angry Spurs fans, and I actually feel
Levy out, I think, was the general feeling.
And I actually feel the total opposite. I kind of feel like, obviously, I'm not denying I would have liked to have seen some new signings. Of course, everybody wants to see signings in the transfer window, but I'm glad that we haven't just impulse bought some rubbish, which is what we normally do at the last minute.
Jack Grealish could have been good for you, though. I mean,
I don't think that there was a massive desire for him at the club, because otherwise they'd have done the business earlier. I just feel a bit like what they've spent their time since the World Cup ended getting players that we really need on new contracts.
Okay.
Right. I feel like, yes, I would have liked to do signing, but I'm fine with it. The fact that we've kept Toby and we've kept Rose and we've not lost any of our so far, obviously they could still go abroad, but I don't feel it's an issue.
All right, okay. Well, guys, tell us what you think of your team's transfer window, right? I mean, I think we're both quite opposite ends of the scale here. I mean, certainly as a Spurs have done no business. I know you feel all right about it, but there's no business. Whereas we've done a lot of business in our club.
Are we the only Premier League team in history since the window started?
That was what they were saying on TalkSport.
To not spend any money.
Ever since the summer window became a thing,
yeah.
Spurs are the first Premier League club to not buy anyone in that window.
Maybe that's what Poch meant when he said, don't take risks. We need to take risks.
You have just spent £1 billion on a new stadium, so it's not like you've got...
And isn't it shiny and beautiful?
And it does look very nice, you're absolutely right. So no one, I think, can say leave, he's not spending the money. He's just put a lot of money into that.
Let's say hi.
So let's say hello, guys. Welcome to FPL Family. For those of you that are new, and there will be a few, because the Instagram's gone up, the Twitter's gone mental...
And we've got a Facebook page now as well.
Oh, do you know what I was going to build up to that.
Oh,
but
sorry.
Get it out there. Go on.
We've got a Facebook page. Yeah. I don't know what possessed me last night. I was actually we have a Facebook page.
I think you got into sort of, we're working with the official guys now, so here we go. We better need Facebook. We need Facebook.
We better cover all social media.
We need all social media.
So yeah. We'll both have admin rights on that. So if you want to have a bit of a conversation between the two of us, you might even get that.
Absolutely. So I think that is hot off the press, as in there is no content on there right now. But if you search FPL Family on Facebook, you will find a page.
Excuse me, we have got 3 followers.
Have we?
Yeah, I don't know how they found us, but because I didn't mention it until the first thing this morning, but hey.
So guys, get over to Twitter at FPL Family, as I know most of you guys are. Get over to Instagram at FPL Family, and now get over to Facebook and search for FPL Family, and you will find us on Facebook as well. So guys, let's do the magic of open source broadcast system, and here we go. Yeah. Ta-da, guys, good welcome. We've got to say hello to a few people, and to do that, I need to switch out into this video here. Right, okay, Shashank is here. Hello guys, hello Shashank, how are you doing? Vinyl Richie is here, good evening.
Hey,
good evening. Leo Hackner says, is anyone even on Facebook anymore?
Excuse me?
Is anyone even on it?
Well, I like Facebook.
Wow, I'm not a big fan. That
I know you're not. It's our difference, isn't it?
You love a bit of Facebook, there's no doubt about
it.
Mike Gascoigne, first live this year so far. Mike, we missed you.
Welcome back.
Mike, we missed you pre-season, but welcome back. Welcome to the Game Week 1 preview, where we will, amongst a lot of other things, be talking about the transfer window, or what was left of it.
Yeah.
Bit of an anticlimax there. We'll come to that in a minute. We're going to talk about, obviously, the fixtures for Game Week 1. And, of course, we're going to talk about our FPL teams. Who is locked in? And if you ain't locked it in by now, you better start thinking about locking
honestly,
in.
I'm still all over the place. So don't expect any words of...
Because it's getting squeaky bomb time. It's less than 24 hours now.
I'm still all over the place.
Less than 24 hours. Gino FC is here. Hi from Australia. It's 5 a.m. here. Oh,
wow.
Gino, thank you for getting up at 5 a.m. That is absolutely crazy.
That's somewhere I'd love to go.
JC is saying Sam looking good. Well, there you go.
Oh, thanks.
It's very nice of you, Jay, isn't it? Very nice.
Honestly, I didn't about half an hour ago.
You look like a drown rat half an hour ago, I'll be honest. But no, you look absolutely wonderful now. Absolutely wonderful, dear. That's very nice of you, Jay.
Yeah.
Alex Bridgeford is here. Happy again. Hey again, guys, and happy birthday, Lee. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you very much. Karthik is here. Hi from India. Tom Sheehan is here. Liam Rist is here. Dom J is here. He says Glam Sam. Hashtag Glam Sam. That could be a hashtag.
Oh.
Glam Sam. Goodness me. FPL Cadet. How are you, buddy? FPL Cadet is here. Fulham and Everton on fire.
Honestly, yeah, we'll talk about Fulham and Everton in a minute.
Everton signed a couple of centre-backs. Got Yerry Mina.
What's going on with Fulham? Where's all this money come from? I thought they're buying Wembley.
That's off the cards now, isn't it? Yeah, forget that. We need some players. Yeah, we need some players.
Where's the man, the myth, the ledge? Is he in?
Shashank is here. Good evening, Shashank. JP43. How are you doing, JP? Ammonit, as ever. Ammonit, welcome to FPL Family. E-Ray KKL, new name for the stream. Not heard E-Ray on before, so E-Ray, good evening and welcome. Mike, we've said hello to Neil Kraskin. Hey, Neil. Hannah's here. Hannah, how do you feel? How do you feel about this lack of Spurs signings, Hannah? I want to hear about this.
Hannah, I got beat Hannah this season. She beat me last year by a few
points. Oh, is that a bit of a Hannah and Sam grudge match thing going on?
It was so close at the end of last season, wasn't it, Hannah? So this season, it's game on.
Game on. So again, apologies if I said this name wrong, but Afdal. Sorry, Afdal. I'm going to just say. Afdal, yeah, that's right, Afdal.
Is that okay?
He says Spurs have got solid chemistry, so they don't need any new signings.
A bit like you and I, darling, right?
Oh wow, don't go there. Josh Chelling is here, how you doing, Josh?
Hiya, Josh.
Bench FPL is here, how you doing, Bench? Luca Elliott, Dan, Phil Potter, loads of you guys. We've got 132 people on already. That
Fabulous.
Is awesome, guys. Thank you
Welcome
all
to the
for
family.
joining. And actually, Luke is here. Luke Walkinshaw is here. Luke, I thought you were still on holiday, actually, dude. I thought you were on holiday. But welcome to the stream, Luke, and thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that. And when it says happy 18th birthday.
Oh, he wishes. Try doubling it.
He's a good lad, that Ammonite. I've always liked him. Guys, right, let's crack on with it because I actually watched back season preview 3.0, which was a video that was on, we did about a week or so ago, wasn't it? I think.
No, it was on Sunday. So
yes, it was only a few days ago. A few days ago we did our last live stream. And the first 20 minutes we spent talking about wooden spoons, mugs, Twitter, YouTube. It was a lot of waffle. So we need to get into it, Sam. We need to get into it. So
I'm ready.
Where do we start? Let's start with...
Should we start with the window, I think, first? It would be just a quick roundup of that.
Absolutely. So it is closed. It closed at 5 p.m. for players coming into the Premier League.
That's correct. But there are still a couple of deals that are outstanding.
So go on and give us a quick review of what's happened and what's still to happen.
So like you said earlier, it seems to be Everton and Fulham that have gone a bit mad today.
Yeah.
So Everton have got Mina from Barcelona, which seems like a really good signing to me.
Do you think that's a really good signing?
Well, for Everton, I do, yeah.
Guys, what do you think about Yerry Mina? I'd be interested to see what he comes in the game. I think he's going to be, I guess, 5'5", I guess. Maybe 5 if we're lucky. But then again, I don't know. He had a good World Cup, no doubt about it. Scored the goal, didn't he, against England that took it to extra time for Colombia. Good defender. Is he great? I don't know. They paid a lot of money for him, but time will tell. Time will tell. One of the other things that I saw coming out of Everton, actually, they were linked with a loan move for Kurt Zuma. Now, I don't know whether that happened or didn't happen.
We don't know yet. That's one of those that we don't know whether that hit through in time or not. The last one when I checked, just literally before we came on, there wasn't any word as to whether that had actually happened or not.
So for me, that felt like a bit like, well, if we don't get Mina, we need to get
Zuma.
We're a bit desperado. We need Zuma.
Well, they might have got both. We don't know. They might have got both. Yet.
Okay. So you guys are saying, Mike is saying, Mina is a great signing for him. Okay.
I think he potentially is. They also got Bernard and Gomez today. Fulham went on a bit of a spending spree as well. They've got Rico. Brian and Vito, I think his name is Vieto. Okay. Chelsea obviously got their
Didn't
new
they get
keeps.
Kovacic, if that's how you say his name,
yes,
on loan
from Madrid
as part of the Courtois deal? Okay.
Yeah,
what do you think about that? So a Chelsea midfield, and I was saying this to Richard actually on Twitter earlier. We've seen in the news about it's not quite right at Chelsea, getting a bit need time to get up to speed and all the rest of it. Yet here we are. 24 hours before the start, they've just got a £70 million keeper.
Yep.
Clearly, got to be good, isn't he, for that money? Got to be, although I'll give you my view on him in a second. And they've got a midfield, potentially, of Kante, Jorginho and Kovacic.
And Hazard.
Well, yeah, and then Hazard and Willian either side, because Willian stayed. Pedro's obviously still around, and that, for me, makes Pedro a bit less of an FPL option now, because he's now got those different options. Morata, Giroud up front, and think even Batshuayi stuck around. So listen, Chelsea have got a hell of a squad now, right?
I think on the basis of what we saw on Sunday with the Community Shield, and from what Sarri said on the back of that game, they have a lot of work to do. They had to go out and get some new players, I think. From what I can see, they seem to have signed decent players.
Kovacic is a good signing, isn't he? I mean, he's gone on loan for a year, so I kind of looked at that and thought, well, what am I missing here? Why haven't they signed him?
Well, I think from what I could understand, the Real Madrid board was split on whether they should sell him or not. So this is a kind of compromise deal, I guess. Okay. They'll probably have an option to buy at the end of the loan period, I would imagine.
Okay, and Tony Iverson, Tony, thank you for joining this evening. He's saying, anyone know anything about this Kepa fella? So,
Kepa
guys,
the keeper.
I would love to hear from you guys on how much you know about Kepa. I'm not even going to try and say his full name, his surname, because he's got a hell of a surname. But we all know who we're talking about. This is the £71 million goalkeeper. So this puts Alisson into the shade, right?
Yeah.
71 million from Atletico Madrid, I think. 24 years old. What do we know about this guy? I put my hands up. I know very little. And up until he signed for a record fee, I was thinking, I've heard this guy's name around, but 70 million, that's out of the blue.
And it did sort of come a bit out of the blue as well, didn't it? Because they were being linked with, the likes of Butland and Pickford and those sorts of keepers. And then all of a sudden it's like, we're going to go and get this guy from Atletico Madrid. And we heard it in the car on the way to Southend this morning. And then by the time we come back, it had happened.
Well, Tom, so Tom is actually saying, I think he's right, actually. So he's come from Atletico Bilbao.
Bilbao, that's right,
Madrid. Yeah. So, again, he has come a bit out of the blue. And I look at the Chelsea goalkeeper scouting policy, and clearly they were in for Alisson in the same way that we were, and a few others, I guess. It didn't get him, so they kind of looked at Jack Butland for a while, and that's not obviously worked. They've gone to Everton and gone, well, can we have a look at Pickford? And they've gone, well, no, because he's a key part of our squad going forward.
Yeah.
So, and now they've gone for this guy, for Kepa, and from what I understand, guys, tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm a bit divorced from this particular transfer saga, but it sounds like the 70 million was paid to activate the release clause, right?
And he said he wanted to go, didn't he? Chelsea came in, he said, yes, I want to go, and that was why the 70 million came about, because it was that activated.
And when it's saying Kepa's a good keeper, Real wanted him in January.
Oh, is that right?
After is saying Kepa overall in FIFA 18 is very high at a young age. So FIFA says he's good.
He must be good.
He's good.
It'll be interesting to see. I think from a fantasy point of view, I don't know that I would put him in my team, because he's going to go in expensive. He's the world's most expensive keeper. He's going to be in the game expensive, right?
So Neil Kraskin is saying he's actually in
5.5.
5.5.
Okay.
Which I think is what you'd expect, right? If they put the new Chelsea keeper in at 5, everyone's on him, and no one picks anybody else. And if they put it in at 6, he's not David De Gea, is he? So 5.5 makes sense. I think.
I'm not sure I would take a punt on him though at 5.5. I think I'd want to see what he's like for a few weeks.
I think I would too. And in fact, I feel that way about the whole of the Chelsea back line, actually.
Yeah,
in truth.
Right.
In truth. Any more transfers that were going on today?
The one that for me I'm really interested in it, and we haven't yet seen it cross the line, is Danny Ings to Southampton.
Did that happen or not happen?
They filed the 2-hour extension, so they had until 7, I think, for it to be finalised. So it's just a case of that it should, hopefully it will be announced while we're live. So somebody tell us if it happens while we're on.
Danny Ings at Southampton 5.5. Is he tempting for you?
Yeah, I think so.
It would be for me, I think. Although Austin would have something to say about that, I guess.
Well, sure, but I think Danny Ings on his, if you take Danny Ings and Austin as 2 players, Danny Ings is the better player. It's just that Danny Ings has been injured so much at Liverpool and hasn't had a run in the team.
Danny Ings is... Can you say that? Danny Ings is the better player than Austin?
Well, I think so.
He hasn't kicked a ball for probably 24 months.
Yeah, but if you take Danny Ings when he's fit and at his best, playing every week, in the way that Austin has been, playing, regularly, I think Danny Ings is a better player. So for me, that is a really interesting option now from an FPL point of view. Danny Ings was never an option at Liverpool. Danny Ings at Southampton, definitely for me, is somebody that could be considered as a third striker.
Okay, yeah, I do like Ings. He plays in between the lines. He moves defenders around. He is good at that when I've seen him. It's just, particularly, is he going to be as good as he was before?
Well, it remains to be seen, doesn't it? But I would have thought that going to Southampton, he's going to get a run in the team, which he was never going to get when he was with you guys.
Yeah, I think you're right. Dom J is saying Ings provides a bit of pace. I think you're spot on with that. And I think they do lack a bit of that at Southampton. So Jeff is in. Jeff, good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
Jeffers.
Welcome. Jeff is saying check out the polls. As usual, we've gone flying head first into it. We've forgotten about the polls.
The other one I just wanted to mention is old FPL favourite Jordan Ayew back in the game now. On loan to Palace for a year.
Palace, Jordan Ayew. Interesting one. Where do you think he plays? I don't.
What do you mean? What do I think he plays?
Well, positional wise, I mean, who does he displace?
Well, they lost a few, didn't they? They lost a few when they lost the likes of Loftus-Cheek and that. So they've got to replace them when they've gone back to their original clubs. Maybe.
I cannot believe, by the way, and sorry, Jeff, we will get to the polls in a minute. I cannot believe they haven't come back in for Loftus-Cheek. That no one's come back in for Loftus-Cheek. That is such a pivotal season for him, isn't it? This year. Well, unless Sarri said to him, "You're going to play in my Chelsea first 11," but surely not.
But there's been no word about Loftus-Cheek. He's not even come up. Nobody's talked about him. So that suggests to me that Chelsea haven't said that he's up for a loan again. Okay. Do you know what I mean?
All right. Tom Sheehan is saying Zaha may be pushed out wide now. I think I agree. Possibly right about that.
And I think same. I think Arnautovic is going to be not the player that we were hoping he was going to be as well this season with all the West Ham signings. Yeah. I think he'll be a bit deeper.
DJ Rick Sky is saying Zaha now out on the wing because of Ayew and Perez. So Perez as well happened today, didn't it? Yep. So he's gone from Arsenal to Crystal Palace, I believe. Lucas Perez? I think so. I think I've got that right, guys. Perez went to West Ham. Sorry, Lucas Perez went to West Ham, didn't he? Sorry, guys. So,
West Ham have got loads. West Ham are really interesting, right? Because I think there's a real risk with West Ham here is that they've got like 7 players or something that have come in this transfer window. Is there a risk that they do what we did when we had all that money from Bale and they just they spend it and then the players don't settle and they don't gel because it's happening all too quickly?
100% it'll take time. It's happened before. You did it with the Bale money. We did it with the Suarez money. You've seen it before with other clubs.
Yeah.
Lots of big players are coming. I don't know who big that's gone out the door at West Ham, but there's but they seem to have a war chest from somewhere. So fair play to the board and the chairman. They seem to be investing, which is them saying, I mean, that's good. After the last few years at that club, that's what you want to see from Gold and Sullivan, right?
It was needed. I just wonder at West Ham now what kind of team we're going to see at the weekend from them. Like, who's going to play? Because there's so many new faces there, and they won't have trained together before this match, really, that they've got on. When are they playing? They're playing on Saturday. They're playing you on Sunday, so maybe it's a good time to play them.
Tough game to start the season, isn't it? With all of that change going on, you can see why people are looking to Liverpool assets for their captain, which is a nice segue back to the polls. So, guys, the 2 polls that we've got today, as we were saying, a bit of a rushed day today, so I haven't had a hell of a lot of time to think about polls.
You've not thought about polls,
but
have you?
obviously, every week we're going to do who's going to be your captain this week. So that is one of the questions. I want to hear from you who your captain is likely to be. I think I know who the answer is going to be. And I want to hear from you in the live chat and from yourself. If Salah wasn't around, who would your captain be? So I'm going to come to that a bit later on too. And I want to hear from you guys. If it wasn't Salah, who would it be? Because I think the captain poll is going to come out with Salah as a sort of overwhelming favourite, I think. The other question is, how ready do you feel? How ready do you feel for this season?
Is this a percentage? Or?
This is just, I think the options are, I've nailed it, I'm done. Needs a bit of work, nowhere near, or God help me, or something like that.
Is there an option for, can I rip it up and start
No,
again?
there's not an option for that. How are you feeling about it?
Can I rip it up and start again?
So, we've got our Twitter on the left-hand side as ever, guys. So check us out on there if you haven't before. Let's talk about your team. Before we talk about fixtures and all that sort of stuff, I want to hear from you on your team. And this is your team as it stands. Now, how different is this to what you showed us only a few days ago?
It isn't, apart from Bednack.
And you've put the captain armband on Salah. That's good.
I've moved the captain armband for all the grief I got. And I did Bennett to Bednack because I was just a bit worried about Bennett when he didn't play in the last one. So I've put Bednack in.
So not a lot of change. So not a lot of tinkering.
No, because
you must feel pretty settled with this.
I don't. I feel really stressed. Like, you can see my notebook. I honestly feel
Oh my God, guys, there's some serious notes going on here, by the way.
I feel like I've lost the plot with them because I'm now having a real wobble about not having Kane, and this is throwing me all out because now I don't know what to do. So, is Kiedo is going to go? Obviously, he's injured, so that's made that decision for me.
Kiedo's got... You can't start with somebody like Kiedo.
Well, he's injured anyway, so I'm not keeping him away.
Come on.
So I think what I'm going to do...
Leo is saying, by the way, that Sam Gunnarsson won't play.
No, and he's another one I've got to deal with. Okay. I only put Gunnarsson in when I did the Salah thing. It was like a whole...
How close is this to your...
No, it's not. This is not, what
is
I'm
it?
saying. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna get rid of Zaha on the basis that he's going out wide, and I don't think he's as good an asset as before. So I'm going to downgrade him. I don't know where I'm going. Probably Rondon at this minute.
Come on.
Probably am going Rondon because then that'll free up some more money in the midfield.
Rondon. Newcastle's fixtures are awful.
Well, they've got us as well at the first game, but I don't know yet.
Goodness me.
I don't really know who I want to put in cheap in the attack. If Danny Ings goes,
so let's start with because Leo's saying your team's a shambles. There's people.
It's total shambles.
You're getting a lot of stick here, so you need to defend yourself. Here,
no,
I'm going to give you a minute to think because
I agree.
Let's start from the very basics of putting an FPL team together. What formation are you looking to play? At the moment, it looks like, as it is there, 4-3-3, right? Because you've got the 3 heavy hitters up front. What?
No, because I'm not going to have 3 heavy hitters up front.
Right. So you think what you planning to go with?
4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Or potentially 3-5-2.
Okay. So which of those 3 up front is going?
Zaha, definitely.
Zaha is going. Okay. What with some of the transfers that are going on?
Yeah.
He's probably going to be pushed wide.
Because he's going to play wide.
Okay.
So Zaha is definitely going, and I'm going to downgrade him to a real cheapie because I always play FPL with 2 up top. I never play with 3 up top. I only did it because at the beginning of the season, Zaha looked like he was going to be a really good fantasy asset, and I thought having 3 heavy hitters might be the way to go. It isn't. It's not for me anyway. So I'm going to get rid of Zaha. And
what about 2 heavy hitters in your Firmino and your Aguero and a not quite so heavy hitter as your third? So you've got, Ings is now an option. I think.
Ings is an option.
And now you've got, we've talked about Austin. We've talked about the new guy at Fulham, who they've just signed, Mitrovic. You've got all those sorts of guys that are in that sort of price bracket.
There's a few in there that I'm looking at. There's a few in there that I'm dead set on. I'm not going to change Edison. I'm not going to change Eriksen. I'm not going to change Salah, Firmino, or Aguero, maybe Kane.
A lot of love for Josh King, by the way. Dom J is saying put King in for Zaha.
That's
Eric
what
Lloyd is saying Zaha to King.
That is my
King
current...
in for Zaha. Neil Christian's saying. Okay.
That is what I'm. That was my last thought. Is I'm going to do.
Certainly put a lot of thought into Josh King. No doubt about it.
Yeah, my last thought. See, this is the other thing, is that we should have been home a lot earlier today, and then I should have been able to change this before we came on. So my current plan has been today to move
Shall we do it now?
You could do it if you like. To
Let's
move
do it.
Zaha down to Josh King. Are you actually going to change my fantasy team?
I'm changing your fantasy team.
I mean, is this
So who are we doing?
Mad?
This is
Josh, don't touch
Firmino.
Firmino.
This is me. I think it's because
You're logged in as you.
Yeah. So let's.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Zaha down to Josh King, which will free up quite a bit of money for me in the mid then. And then I can upgrade. I'm going to get rid of Gunnarsson and I'm going to upgrade Izzy. What I don't know yet is who I'm going to replace them with. Izzy, there's a few that I was looking at. I was looking at Pogba, but then I don't really know what's going on with Pogba.
Bit of a risk.
So that's too much of a risk. I've also been looking at Siggy at Everton. Something doesn't feel quite comfortable with that either. I've been looking at Mkhitaryan at Arsenal, but they've got a couple of tough games, so that puts me off.
Okay, so listen, so there's a lot of work that needs to go into your team, no doubt about it. So you've got, a few hours tonight after this. You better get on to Let's Talk FPL. Come into Andy's stream and we'll get it on the TV and we'll get the community to tell you what you should be doing for your team. So that's where you can ask all your questions.
I think there is what I am pleased with, that I've got a kind of a spine that I'm happy with. It's just the ones around the edge that need work.
Okay.
Kane is my big thing.
Okay. Kane is the big thing. All right, well, I'm with you on the Spurs thing. Hence why, and guys, this is my team as it stands. Far more set, I think, than yours is at the moment. I feel pretty happy with this, guys. I haven't tinkered with this much, if at all, since we last spoke a few days back. I'm pretty happy with 3 Liverpool and 3 City. I think that looks really good. I mean, the fixtures for City look great. The fixtures for Liverpool look great. There's captaincy options in there as well. I think Pep's come out and said things like, Bernardo Silva is one of my nailed-on players. It's him and 10 others. So I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to take that at 7.5. Now, listen, if things start to go a bit south, because we know what the Pep roulette is like, then he's an easy switch to somebody else. And, 2 or 3 weeks down the line, we'll know a lot more about FPL and the assets that are starting. But for now, I'm happy with Bernardo Silva. Happy with Aguero. The only thing that may change for me is who my third Liverpool player might be. So I don't think by having Robertson and Salah, there's much differentiation there.
No, I
mean, a lot. I think they're going to be very popular, those 2 picks. I think Salah's obviously going to be a popular captain pick for Gameweek 1, obviously. So if you want something different from Liverpool, you've got to go for the third player. You've probably got to go for a Mane or a Firmino, probably. There's absolutely an option there to double up at the back, for sure. Virgil van Dijk looked pretty good pre-season. He's good at the aerial duels, etc. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Everyone's looking at this kid now to think, well, can I save $1 million over Robertson? And that's going through my head too. But right now, I think either Firmino or Mane to complement Salah is a nice thing. So Eriksen may become Mane.
Were you not on Mane last time? I don't remember Eriksen being in your team, because I thought we had a conversation about how I had Firmino and you had Mane.
Yeah, that might be what's changed since Sunday. Yeah, so Eriksen's come in. I do like Mane. So Eriksen still may be Mane, and if he is, then Firmino becomes somebody else. I've got 9.5 to play with there. Maybe a Lacazette, maybe somebody else in that 7.0, or even cheaper that actually I fancy and keep it in the bank.
So do you know who I fancy?
Go on.
And if I didn't have Eriksen, who I'd have? Lucas Moura.
Yeah, there's a lot of love for Lucas Moura. In fact,
Really
Ben Clark on the live stream has just said thoughts on Lucas Moura, as if by magic. Ben has said that just as you said it.
So Lucas Moura is my entry plan for Kane. So my plan is to upgrade to Kane by taking Eriksen out and putting Moura in, because Moura is, I'm pretty sure,
pretty good pre-season.
Really good. 2 goals, really positive, and because of Sonny being out of the World, the Asia game. Hang on, which one is he at first? The Asia Games or the Asia Cup? Can't remember whichever one he's at first.
Are they not the same thing?
No, there's one in January.
I so thought they were the same thing.
No, they're not. There's one in January he's going to as well, but he's getting late to the other one in January.
Goodness me.
So because he's going to be out for plays game week 1 and then he's out for most of September as well. Hopefully, because he's hopefully going to win the thing. Mora's going to play.
Okay, all right. So Felix is saying the Asian Games is the first thing. Yeah,
there you
okay.
go.
So I felt a bit uncomfortable going in with an FPL team that didn't have any Spurs players in it. Now, clearly, Kane requires a bit of surgery here, and it probably means getting rid of either Salah or Aguero. Or if you want to keep those, you've got to get rid of Firmino and lose somewhere else. So I don't feel like I want Kane straight away. I noticed his team selected by, he's got something like 33, 34% team selected by right now. So that is going to be, I think, a problem potentially for the FPL Twitter community and the people that, in my mind, play the game, because he's not a popular pick on Twitter and in the FPL community, yet he is in the game. So if he bags a couple against Newcastle, suddenly there's going to be a lot of hysteria on Twitter, right?
Well, yes, but he only came back into training on Monday, and then he wasn't there on Tuesday because he had a baby. So he's actually only been Vivian. So he's only actually been there Wednesday, Thursday, and tomorrow, and we play on Saturday lunchtime. So really, I mean, I know it's Kane, and this is why I'm wobbling, because it's Kane, and Kane can score what he likes, but it's August, and he's not really been in training, and he's had a baby, and it's all a bit all over the place, and I just feel a little bit uneasy about him, whereas the likes of Eriksen and Mora, who have been in training constantly for a lot longer anyway.
So do you feel like, if Kane is going to miss some games at the beginning of the season, do you still back Spurs to win those games?
Yes.
I know you do, but...
Right. I don't think that Kane will miss games.
Right.
I think Kane will play.
Okay.
But I don't think we'll see Kane... We won't see Kane, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Am I speaking sense? I don't think we'll see Kane at his best, but I think our team is better with Kane not at his best than it is with Llorente.
So half a Kane's better than a full Llorente?
In my opinion, yes. And so I think
I tend to agree with you.
And so I think, given that we'll also... The only game that is potentially not going to see Kane, I would say, is game week 1 when we've got Son.
So Ben again has made a great point there. So Son will start up front, Kane will come on for some minutes near the end, and then Son then goes off to the Asia Games. Kane switches in game week 2.
It's like you and I read each other's minds, Ben, tonight.
I think that's probably...
I think if we don't see... Because we've got Son for game week 1, there is a chance that we don't see Kane start and we see him come on.
Okay, all right.
The other thing is it's August, so who knows with Kane.
I think this August thing is nonsense. He's going to score in August. He's got to at
some stage,
Harry
isn't he?
Kane. He's just one of the best players in the league. So for that reason, I've got Eriksen right now. I think there's a lot of nonsense going on at Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on with the players' bonuses and them not getting paid them, and they're going to take industrial action, all that sort of stuff. I think that's all cleared up right now. But even if it is, it's still a bad feeling around the club. And the fans are getting a bit tetchy with the fact that Mitrovic has been sold. And we said this on the last vlog. Seems to be in very, very good form, Mitrovic. In, dare I say, the form is... He played very, very well for Fulham last year. So there's no doubt they want to snap him up. But as a Newcastle fan, I'd want to see him back at my club. I'd want to see him scoring some goals for us this year. And instead he sold him, pocketed the 20 million and bought in Rondon on loan. Now, we're a lover of Rondon. But we're a lover of Rondon here. But if you're a Newcastle fan, how do you feel about that? Ashley's pocketed that money and not reinvested it.
Well, and he's not only has he taken Rondon on loan, he's also shipped out Dwight Gale, so he's freed up some wages there anyway. Yeah, because he's gone out on loan.
Everything about that club at the moment, not everything, but it just feels wrong. And Rafa's even come out and said, I don't know if I'm going to get my transfer targets. I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. It just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't, but then but it's always a tricky place for us to go. We always seem to manage to do something ridiculous when we go to Newcastle.
So Shashank is saying Newcastle will get relegated. I mean, goodness me, that would be a shock, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't think it's going to be that bad because Rafa is Rafa. He's an absolute legend, Rafa. But how long before he gets the ump with behind the scenes and he disappears? I don't know. But guys, on that basis, I wanted some Spurs coverage for game week 1 because I think you go up there and do a job, regardless of whether Kane plays or not.
And then we're back at Wembley in game week 2.
Yeah, Wembley for Fulham, and then there's a couple of away games. So, yeah, Fulham at Wembley, second game with Kane probably coming back and starting. that looks like a nice game to have a Spurs player, does it not? So on that basis, I'm going Eriksen because, even I sat here a few weeks ago and said the Spurs fixtures don't look great. They're away, then they're home, but at Wembley where they've already said goodbye, so that's weird. And then they're away for a couple more games. Then it's Liverpool in the new stadium. So goodness me, that's tough. But actually, if you break it down, the Newcastle game, what's going on up there? The home game, all right, it's back at Wembley, but it's Fulham. I mean, they've signed a lot of players. They'll be settling in. Spurs' first home game came back fit, probably wanting to do a bit of a baby celebration. I don't know. I just think going into the FPL season without any Spurs coverage is a tricky one. Now, tell me about your thoughts on... and guys, some of the guys on here, by the way, are saying... so Jeff is saying, and a few of you guys are saying that Ings has been done. So Ings at Southampton is done. He is now an asset.
Really interested to hear from the Saints fans then about that, because I think that is a cracking signing.
Yeah, Dan is saying Ings has signed for Southampton on loan. #feed23. Ings to Southampton done. It is done.
I think that's a cracking signing.
That is, you guys, that is 5.5 in FPL. That's something to think about.
That really is something to think about.
Something else to think about, which is what I wanted to get your thoughts on, going back to Spurs, was Ben Davies.
Oh, yeah.
So Danny Rose is, I think, still a Spurs player. It looked like he might be going out the door either to Schalke on loan, or even, I think I heard PSG
today. What a PSG one with Danny Rose.
But either way... So, if Danny Rose is kind of down the pecking order a bit, how much of an asset is Ben Davies at 5.5?
Okay, so I think for a starting point, obviously Ben Davies being Welsh hasn't been away to the World Cup. He's been in full training, done all the pre-season. Seems to be in everything that's been said about him. He seems to be absolutely on fire at the moment, fitness-wise. So I would be fully anticipating Ben Davies to play the beginning part of the season.
Yeah, and we saw last season what effect Ben Davies has on that team. Actually,
massively.
You actually noticed when he didn't play, it affected Kane's game in a weird way, doesn't it? And I can't think back to how we analysed that at the time, but there was definitely a correlation between Davies not playing and there being a lack of creativity at the top end.
Ben Davies and Kieran Trippier, when those two play, the rest of the team plays better. Yeah. What happens when we play, it's not so much with Aurier, although it isn't as positive down that side. But when we play Danny Rose, he doesn't have the same... He doesn't read the game as well as Ben Davies. So Danny Rose, it's not that he's not a good player. He is. And when he's got the ball, he will make good crosses and he will make good runs. It's not that's the issue. But he just doesn't see the game in the same way that Ben Davies does.
Last question on Spurs, just because we've got you as a Spurs expert in the room.
Hang on, don't call me another... I've been called an expert twice in 2 days. It'll go to my head.
What did the official FPL thing call you?
I'm a nut.
A Spurs nut.
I'm a nut.
Spurs nut.
I don't know why I'm a nut.
I don't know what sort of
You're
nut.
a fan and I'm a nut.
Right. So Notorious Nerd Notorious, thank you for joining. He is saying, get this, tell me what you think. Kyle Walker-Peters may start at left back and Davies at centre back.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not the Spurs nut, but you tell me. Notorious, what makes you think that? I mean, for me,
Sanchez will be playing.
Yeah, Vertonghen and Sanchez at the back.
Vertonghen will be playing.
He will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alderweireld is still at the club. Is he going to start now?
Toby, you stay.
Well, yes, he stayed, but he's come out and said I want to go. So is he still part of Poch's plans?
No.
Okay. What's been said? Go on. I've not obviously followed this.
You find me a record of Toby saying that. Right. I would expect that what we'll see this season is some games where we play our standard. And some where we play 5 at the 3 centre backs, and we play Toby, Jan, and Sanchez because that is how we were playing. So
the guys are saying, Hannah is saying, in pre-season, Davies has played centre back for the last 2 games.
He has, but I think that's because Jan hasn't been there.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I can't see Jan not playing. I really can't.
The Luke Guy 7 is saying Davies will be left centre back for sure. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
But I just can't see Jan not playing.
Okay, all right. Okay. So you think Davies is going to be wide? That's where he's going to be.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we'll go with it.
Who
are we guys to question the Spurs nut? Who are we to question the Spurs?
I just can't see Jan not playing. He's not played pre-season because he's not been there till Monday.
I think what the guys are looking for is a cheap way into the Spurs defence.
They're not cheap. They're all the same.
It's Kyle Walker-Peters. He can't be 6.
Kyle Walker-Peters.
He's got to be 4 or 5.
If Kyle Walker-Peters plays, he's going to play 1 game before the rest of them are back. So it's not worth a risk on a fantasy point of view, I would have said.
And Amonit is saying Toby Alderweireld will sign for a free next season. He's going to run his contract and he's going to come to Liverpool on a free.
He's not going to come to Liverpool.
Why not?
No, he's not going to come to
right.
Liverpool.
Okay,
he's more likely to still go to United. He's not going to Liverpool.
Very good. So what else is there to say about this team? I mean, that was the one change, was Mane to Eriksen, and I've stuck Firmino in there up top. I'm pretty set. Kenny, I'm happy with. Richarlison, I'm pretty happy with. My only thing is that maybe it's a bit template, but
does that matter at the start of the season? All it's gonna do by having a template team is boost your.
Well, the other thing is that it's potentially a bit Twitter template,
right.
But then if you look at the FPL template and the likes of Kane's in there at 33%. I ain't got Kane. Sanchez is quite popular, etc., etc. I haven't got those players, so potentially it's a bit Twitter template. But I don't see too many Eriksens knocking about. I don't see too many Firminos. I see a lot of Salah and Mane's, which still could happen. It still could happen for me. The one thing that if I was going to change anything, Robertson to Trent. That extra million would be lovely, wouldn't it? Oh, it'd be so lovely. But I've been on Robertson all summer. I've been backing him, since the back end of last season. I cannot swap him out for Trent.
You watch Robertson score on Sunday if you take him out.
Well, it'll happen, won't it? And if I don't, Trent will, take all the free kicks and look great. Hopefully he does.
What I would like to know is, where are Christensen and Wilson?
Christensen is not going anywhere near my team, and in fact, he's not gone anywhere near the Chelsea team from what I've seen. So I'm not sure whether Sarri doesn't fancy him or whatever, or maybe he's injured. And Callum Wilson is getting absolutely nowhere. The one thing that does worry me is in the Liverpool friendly against Torino the other night. I don't know if you noticed that. Liverpool won 3-1. Alberto Moreno was captain, which is a massive worry for Liverpool fans. A massive worry. I mean, what is the pseudo message there? I'm hoping there's not a meta message there that says, I'm beginning to believe in this guy again. Because if he is, Robertson is no longer nailed on.
No, isn't the message, there you go, darling, don't get too upset about life. Be the captain for this week.
I'm pretty sure he's not that condescending with his players. But,
you know what I mean. In a we need to boost this guy's confidence, so here we go.
Okay.
No?
All right, okay. So Jerome Hughes, welcome. Thank you for joining. TAA in a million is mighty tempting over Robbo. It really is.
Do you think Trent is he nailed?
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? This is literally the £1 million question. Is he nailed? I mean, my view, and let's do this quickly because I want to get to fixtures. He is a little bit. Notorious Nerd is saying he's a little bit too risky.
Yeah.
And the problem the reason he's a bit risky is because Nathaniel Clyne is now back. Now, if Nathaniel Clyne wasn't back, Trent would be probably in everyone's team.
Okay.
Because he's away into the Liverpool defence. He's 5 million. He's on potentially some set pieces as well, and he looks really good. He's good for an assist as well from open play even. So, if he starts to become nailed on, expect to see a lot of Trent Alexander-Arnold in people's FPL teams.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
However, there is still that lingering doubt in people's minds about the Clyne issue, and on that basis, people are going for Robertson. Okay. But now there's this thing about Moreno. I mean, goodness me, if he ever pulls on a Liverpool shirt again, that is really a problem. Really a problem. Sam, 212 people watching right now.
No.
212 people.
Oh,
guys, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
I think that is our record, is it not? I don't think we've ever had 212 people watching. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in.
Goodness me.
Absolutely awesome. So, we need to talk about
the fixtures. Isn't it just so exciting?
I love it. I absolutely
love it.
The
Premier League's back. Life is good again.
Did you notice, guys? Did you notice what I did there?
What?
I flicked the tab and it came up on the page where we were being announced as Spurs nuts and Liverpool fans and stuff.
Oh, did it?
Our little moment of fame there from the last sort of 24 hours. So here it is, and see if I can zoom out on this a little bit so we can see it better. Here we go, 80%. That's a bit better. So I think what we did last year when we were talking about fixtures. Here we go, because we've got United, haven't we, first? So whenever we talked about fixtures in our vlogs last year, we tended to go through one by one, and we'd even spend loads of time talking about, Huddersfield and Bournemouth potentially, which is not really what I want to do this year. What I'd like to do is hear from you and hear from you guys in the live stream. Where are the FPL points? What are the key games where we're going to see the FPL points? And what I'd like to start with, because I did some research into this and thought about the last 2 opening day fixtures in the last 2 seasons.
They've been so high scoring, haven't they?
Well, what I was going to say was the Arsenal game in particular. So Arsenal played
Leicester?
Do you know what? I think that's right. Arsenal-Leicester this time last year, and it was 4-3. And the season before they played Liverpool, I think again at the Emirates, and it was 4-3. So get a tenner on 4-3, Arsenal versus Man City, or not. What's your thoughts on that game? Because that is, for me, the big game of the weekend. I mean, we're going to see a lot about those two sides. Guys, let us know in the live chat.
Well, Harry Maguire actually going to United, but in a Leicester shirt tomorrow.
Oh, well, we can talk about United and Leicester in a minute, but Arsenal versus Man City, what's your thoughts on that particular... I know it's the last one of the weekend, but it's the two heavy hitters coming together.
I think that absolutely could be high scoring, that game. Absolutely. I think Arsenal have looked really, really strong going forward pre-season. They look on good form.
Okay.
And that's coming from me. Credit to Arsenal. I think they've had a good pre-season. Particularly...
Do you think?
Yeah. Particularly like sort of Aubameyang and Lacazette. They seem to be playing together better.
They signed anybody significant?
But does that matter? They've got a new manager. They've got that whole kind of fresh start thing that you get when you've got a new manager, and the players play differently. And if Ozil reacts in the way that we think he might to this Germany stuff, then that's like having a new player the way that he's stropped around for the last couple of seasons. We could see if we get the Ozil of old back, then that will really help Arsenal in terms of their forward play. So I think Arsenal will score in that game. I don't see a City clean sheet, even though I'm playing a City keeper. City, well, look, I mean, they score for fun, don't they, City? And
so let's just finish up on Arsenal for 2 seconds. And Arsenal fans, if you're on, if Aid's on, Lock On Kun is on, I want to hear from the Arsenal fans. What's your thoughts about this year? I personally think Arsenal's going to go one or two ways. He's either going to get them clicking, and they're going to... So look, Arsenal on paper are brilliant, right? Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, Ramsey. I mean, it's all there. Defensively, question marks, in my opinion. We've got to see how the new goalkeeper, Leno, kind of come, what he does there.
Yeah.
But on paper, going forward, they look immense.
Yeah.
So they're either going to be brilliant or they're not.
Yeah.
It's going to be awful. I'm just not sure. And that's why you guys have seen in my FPL team, I haven't got any Arsenal assets because I want to see in those first two games, Man City and Chelsea, not exactly the easiest games. I'm not expecting Aubameyang to smash free, and I'm not expecting Lacazette to get a hat-trick. I'm not expecting big points from Arsenal. Might be wrong, but not expecting big points. So I think I'm happy to kind of sit and wait to see how Unai Emery gets them set up in those first two games.
I think...
What do you think? Going to be amazing or going to be terrible? What do you think?
I think Arsenal have a good season this season.
Okay.
Much to my...
Do you think defensively they're good? And when it's saying Arsenal defence not good enough.
But... I think that is right. I totally agree with that. That's why I wouldn't have an Arsenal defender. But Arsenal's attacking players, like the ones you've just mentioned, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, Ramsey, they are quality. They are absolute quality, and there is goals in that team. Now, what remains...
That was the same last season.
But I think the fundamental difference this season is that whether the Arsenal fans think that he is the right man for the job or not, they are now behind him. The team seems to be engaged with him behind him, don't they? There seems to be this sort of change at Arsenal, and it was going to happen after so long with Wenger.
What have you read that's evidence that?
But
for me, it's still early days.
Well, it is early days, but I just think that when a new manager comes, it goes one of two ways, doesn't it? Either they start well and the team's behind them. I just think with this time around, it's such a big change at Arsenal, because Wenger had been there for so long, and there was so much kind of negativity at Arsenal that I can only see this being positive for them. I don't see Arsenal keeping clean sheets, but I do see them scoring a lot of goals.
All right. We're just going to pause there for a second, because I do absolutely want to talk more about Arsenal in just a second. I just want to say a massive thank you to Jeff. So you guys, we haven't mentioned it today. We did mention it at the last stream. Super Chat is enabled. If you guys want to get involved with that, we would love you to get involved with that. It's absolutely not a prerequisite of being here, but we'd love it if you would. And Jeff has said, have an anniversary / birthday drink on me, and he sent us 10 quid.
Oh,
How nice is that? Jeff, what a legend. What an absolute legend.
He lived up to his name then, didn't he? The man, the myth, the legend.
The man, the myth, the legend. Less of a myth, more of a legend.
Definitely. That's definitely
Use that
true.
as your tagline, Jeff, by the way.
We love Jeffers. He's
Less of a myth,
cards
more of a
up.
legend.
Jeffers, the man, the myth, the legend.
Jeff, thank you for that. That is so kind of you. Really appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, so Arsenal, look, the reason I'm not on Arsenal is purely because of all the things that you've just said. Everything that you've said is the things that have made me not put Arsenal in my team until game week 3. But I expect Arsenal to have a good season, and in game week 3, I'll be getting an Arsenal player.
Yeah, I think defensively, and you guys are saying it all over the live stream. Somebody just mentioned, Shane UZ, it's just gone off the screen actually, but he was saying that he watched the Chelsea versus Arsenal game in Dublin when they played there last week, and the Arsenal defence was rubbish. Czech saved them a million times. Could have been more goals.
But that's Arsenal all over.
You've got to wait and see. You've got to think that Torreira's going to come in and protect that back four. But what is he protecting? I mean, I'm not entirely convinced.
And that's why that game.
You've got to wait and see.
That's why that game will have goals for both sides.
Yeah.
Man City, I think. Well, let's hope Pep stays true to his word and plays Silva.
Well, I absolutely hope so. Yeah, I absolutely hope so.
And
let's see what he says.
And that he plays Aguero and Jesus. And plays two up front. That would suit me quite nicely.
Okay.
I think you just have to have City. That's my opinion on that.
Do you need to have three?
City. No, I don't think you have to have three. I don't think a City defender is essential because, all right, they've got Mendy this season who they didn't have last season, but City were penetrable last season. You could score against them. They weren't this watertight ship at the back. They were prolific going forward, but they were not watertight. And I think that will be the same this season. I can see you could score against City. You can. So I don't expect, and this is why I'm a bit on Edison as well at the moment as to whether actually should I have him. But then who's the premium one I'd rather have?
Okay.
So we'll see. I think that'll be high scoring, that game. I really do.
Okay. So the few of you saying Karthik is saying Arsenal will be back in the top four. Okay, interesting. What else are you guys saying about Arsenal? Leo is saying, wouldn't say anything for sure with Arsenal, Michelle, because I think Michelle was saying that the Arsenal fans are excited about Unai Emery and the new manager and what he's going to bring. So, that's we've got to see from an Arsenal perspective. If I was an Arsenal fan, would I be excited? Yes. On paper, Arsenal look amazing. From an FPL perspective, and that's what we're here to talk about. It's a wait and see for me, especially with those two. If the first two fixtures were Cardiff at home, Fulham at home, I'd be like, I'll take a stab and I'll get Aubameyang or I'll get Lacazette. But those two fixtures are City and Chelsea. Let's have a look and be prepared to pounce in game week 3.
I agree.
All right.
We've got 226 people watching.
226 people watching. Absolutely superb. Guys, thank you. If you haven't hit that like button already, smash that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. That is more people watching than we've ever had, I think, in FPL.
I'm that excited I've drawn on my arm.
Very good. What did you draw? Not an Arsenal tattoo or something, was it?
No, it's just a line.
Very good.
Black line.
So guys, hit that like and subscribe and hit the little notify bell as well. So when you subscribe, hit the little notify bell and that'll tell you, you'll get a little pop-up, a little notification on your phone that'll tell you next time we go live or we put a video on. So
Sunday
guys,
night.
Thank you very, very much for tuning in tonight. So,
who else do you want to talk about?
We need to talk a little bit about Manchester United versus Leicester. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but clearly it's the big kickoff. It's the big game, Friday night. Leicester without Mahrez. I'm backing Morrison to do good things. Is it Morrison or Maddison? I should really know that. I think it might be Maddison. I'm expecting the new guy, the new Mahrez replacement at Leicester, to do big things. I'm not necessarily expecting them to do them at Old Trafford, though. But at the same time, Mourinho's moaning a lot. There's a lot of players coming back from the World Cup. How do you feel that game's going to go? I haven't got much of a feel for it,
I mean, is it really bad if I say I can see Leicester getting something from that game? I really can. I just don't see United as... I don't see them ready.
Yeah, Ben Clark is saying, got 1-0 United written all over it. Yeah, I think so. And you guys are saying Maddison, thank you. I'm sure I knew I'd got Morrison wrong. Been a long
Morrison's
day,
Cardiff.
Been a long day.
He's the Cardiff
Yes, he
defender.
is. Yeah, absolutely. So Ben's saying 1-0 to United. A lot of you guys are saying, Notorious Nerd, 0-0. Shashank is saying eyes on Luke Shaw. So you're absolutely right, Shashank. There are a lot of assets there to look at.
Yeah, there are.
But is it going to be much of a game to look at? I don't know.
Well, I think
FPL-wise, there's a lot to go, right?
Yeah, from an FPL perspective, I think there's a lot of players in those teams that good fantasy managers will be watching.
Rashford, the new United number 10. He's got to be given the number 10 shirt for a reason at United this year. Surely he's part of Mourinho's first 11 plans.
Yeah, and I think the likes of Rashford, the likes of Pogba, the likes of Shaw... Those players at United, you've got to be keeping an eye on because, and I suppose you throw De Gea in there as well because he's De Gea. You got to be keeping an eye on them and working out what you do about United because at the moment, for me, the feeling at United is very negative, and that's only because of Mourinho and the negativity that man produces around him at the moment.
But Andrew Yee is saying 3-0 United's going to shut the media up. Maybe this is all mind games,
right?
From Jose,
so I mean,
right?
and we've known Jose do this before, haven't we?
Yes,
come out
absolutely
there,
right.
kick up a fuss and a stink about whatever it is he's moaning about, and then absolutely blow a team apart. Now, I don't see Leicester getting blown apart. I can see a draw or United nicking it by 1. I don't see it being a huge high scoring game. I'm not on Leicester either at the moment because I'm not that inspired by them.
So Leicester's probably not going to have Vardy or Maguire.
Well, Vardy signed a new contract today, didn't he? That was their signing.
Yeah, but I can't see him playing. I think he's come back too late from the World Cup, and Mara's clearly not there anymore. So it's down to kind of Maddison to pull the strings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of negativity around United at the minute, and I can just see that being a draw. I think the guys are right. It's got 0-0 written all over it, or maybe 1-1.
You can see Leicester going up there, and the team talk at the beginning is look at the shambles that we're playing against. Like, look at the moaning that's going on there. Get out there and take him. It's the best time to play him. Okay. And I think it is.
All right, very good. Where else shall we go? Is there FPL points anywhere else? Let's talk about two teams that have been incredibly active in the transfer market. Wolves versus Everton. Now, here's two sides that surely have got a lot of settling down to do into this season. So Wolves versus Everton. Are we expecting that to be, two teams that don't know their arse from their elbow and actually it's all over the place and it's 4-4? Or are we expecting a cagey affair, or are we expecting to see the Wolves that everyone is expecting to see? Because people are expecting big things from Wolves this season.
We'll see I think Wolves will play well. I think Wolves, fundamentally, they're the team that came up from the Championship and they've added to it, but they've not really lost anybody, have they?
And I like the Traore signing, by the way, for Wolves. I like that. I mean, I don't know how that affects the likes of Jota and some of the others that people have been looking at in FPL, but, I like that as a signing. That's bold, and they've got Patricio in goal. They've come up with some really, really good signings. Moutinho in the middle. I think the thing building something there, aren't they?
The thing with Wolves is that they've done their business over the course of the transfer window, haven't they? They've not left it all until today and done it. So they've had their new signings with them for a while. And so they have
took the Championship by storm, didn't they? Effectively,
and they've been playing with them. So some of those new signings I would expect to start at the weekend, and you'd expect to see them embedded into the Wolves team. But the Wolves team, the structure and the bones of it is still the same as they were coming up, and they had a great season last season. They were really, really good to watch. Everton, on the other hand, they have made a lot of new signings, but 3 of them happened today. Well, they're not going to play, are they, on Saturday?
You wouldn't think so. No, you wouldn't think so.
Or they might come on, I suppose, but they're not really likely to play 90 minutes. I wouldn't have thought. And the Everton team of old wasn't great last season, so I think Wolves will win that game.
Okay, all right. And Pranoy is saying, Helder Costa and Adama Traore, 2 options at Wolves. So you can kind of add them to the list of Jota and Jimenez and to a degree Neves, because we know Neves is a bit more defensive, but he takes the pens and some of the free kicks. So a lot of options at Wolves.
Loads.
And I don't know if I probably should have done a bit more research into them last year or watched a bit more of them in the Championship. Sounds like from what you guys are saying, I mean, I've just seen the comment that they were the Man City of the Championship last year. So
that's right.
Shame on me for not watching more Championship football. But I don't know enough about them yet. I want to see how they settle in. But the canny FPL managers are going to know which ones to get on, and I think Jota's going to be very, very popular.
And so for me, I think Wolves are the ones to have in that game, because whilst I think Everton will be better this season because of all the signings that they've made, I think the start of the season has come too quickly for them on the back of these transfers. I don't think they'll be ready.
And Josh96 is saying that actually the Everton pre-season hasn't been great.
No, it hasn't. Apart from the 22-0 that they had.
Yeah, we know. Oh, yeah, we know all about that. So we've talked a little bit about the Liverpool assets as well and the Liverpool-West Ham game, so let's not go too far into that. We've spoken about Newcastle and Spurs and where the points might be there. Where else in these fixtures, still got your glasses on, you can have a look at this and see where else
I've got them written in front of me.
Oh, very good. So you can see.
Because I know I wouldn't be able to see what you're doing.
Let's pick out maybe one more game before we wrap up.
I think Fulham and Palace is really interesting as well.
Yeah, go on. London Derby to kick us off then.
London Derby, Fulham, again, they've been really busy in the transfer window. Palace...
They've been pretty busy as well.
It's not that they haven't been busy, because they have been busy, and I think they've made some good signings. I just Loftus-Cheek and the way that Palace were on they had such a good end to last season. They were really good, and I just don't know. It'll be really interesting to see whether Palace pick up from where they left off last season, or whether we get kind of. Roy Hodgson is a great manager. It's his birthday today as well, wasn't it?
Do I share a birthday with Roy Hodgson?
And somebody else.
What a great stat that is. Brilliant.
Some other player, a really decent player as well. They were both on my Twitter, my Instagram feed at the same time.
Okay, very good.
I can't remember now. But I think Palace and Fulham will be a really interesting watch. I think that could be a really cagey game, that one, and a really good game.
Okay, well, I think you're right. Palace definitely tightened up defensively at the back end of last season.
Yeah.
Roy got them very, well drilled, etc. I think we're all looking at least one, if not two, Crystal Palace defensive assets as well, because most of us are going to be on
PVA.
Wan-Bissaka as a 4.0 filler. But then, I'm also on Tompkins. You're on Patrick Van Aanhout, who, if you haven't joined Patrick Van Aanhout's FPL league this year, he's got this league of doing bits, right?
Oh my God,
so you need to go and find Patrick Van Aanhout on Twitter, or have a look at FPLFamily and scroll down to where I've retweeted the giveaways that he's given away as part of his FPL league this year. So he's doing like a personal meet and greet where he'll give you the trophy, a signed Palace shirt. So I hope Jamal has seen this, right?
Yeah, because Jamal will want to win
manna
this.
from heaven for Jamal. But also there's £1,000 from his boot sponsor and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness,
but isn't he also?
stuff.
He's trying to get all of his mates to do the Manager of the Month prizes, isn't he? And he's trying to get them all involved and give out.
I don't know how far down the line that is,
No,
but he did. So Ian Wright then
Yeah.
commented, he just put some
Amazing.
clapping emojis, and Patrick Van Aanhout said, Wright, if you want to get involved and give something out for a Manager of the Month. I don't know if he responded or not, but yeah, so Patrick Van Aanhout is really getting in
Loves
to
it.
FPL this year. It's
I'm
absolutely
having
brilliant.
him. I'm having him, and I think Palace are a good side. I really do. I think they've got some really good players in there. Benteke is obviously back now, so that opens him as a fantasy asset again.
Are you writing off Fulham? I mean,
No,
MU Fan TV is saying, why isn't anybody talking about Schürrle?
No.
They've just bought Mitrovic in.
I'm
I think
definitely
they've also bought a left back today.
Yes.
Can't think of his
They
name,
bought
but
Keeper, they bought Brian, they bought Vieto, they bought Rico today.
Okay. But the left back coming in means that you'd assume Sessegnon then has the ability to get a bit more forward, so therefore he suddenly becomes a bit more of an option as a 6.5 midfielder rather than a defender.
I'm definitely not writing off Fulham. I think Fulham. I was really worried about Fulham at the beginning of the season, particularly when I looked at them from a fantasy point of view and they had 12 players listed in the game. I thought, what on earth? How are they going to stay in the Premier League with 12 players? And then they've made these signings, and actually they're good signings.
Absolutely solid.
They've made really solid signings.
Yeah.
I really like Kearney. I'm going to have him. He'll be in my team. I think he's a good pick from a fantasy point of view.
And Seri as well in the middle there. He's going to shore it up. I mean, he's a centre defensive midfielder, so don't get on him from an FPL perspective.
No.
But look at what he's going to do to the rest of the team, and Kearney's going to benefit from that.
Kearney will, and like you said, Mitrovic. I think from a fantasy point of view, as a third option up top, he's got real potential. That's why I think that game will be a really interesting watch from a fantasy point of view, because those two teams offer so much at cheap prices for us as fantasy managers. So keep an eye on those two in that game.
Absolutely.
Particularly in preparation for Gameweek 2.
Okay. All right. So I think, that's the fixtures. There's loads more we could talk about. I mean, I'm interested to see how Marco Silva gets on against Wolves. I'm interested to see how all of the West Ham players settling against Liverpool. Not an easy game for them to start with, obviously. I'm interested to see how Cardiff get on, because everyone's expecting them to be the whipping boys. And away at Bournemouth, not exactly an easy fixture. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I think, I'm absolutely buzzing for football to be back. And, doing these streams again on a weekly basis, what we'll try and do, guys, we'll try and make Sunday, 8 p.m, our regular slot. That's what we're going to try and do. 8 p.m. UK time, regular slot. So that is where we'll be talking about everything that we've watched that day. Because we're big on Sky and BT. We've got all the packages here and we're at home, so we watch all the Super Sunday games. And then at 8 p.m, we'll come live to you and we'll talk about everything that's happened in the game week.
So excited.
And then what we'll do is, we hope to do during the week, whenever we can, is do kind of an additional one where we look ahead to the game week that's coming. And we'll look ahead and we'll do the fixtures and we'll look at the teams, etc. That we've, and we'll have, in the same way that we've done this evening.
We'll have a variant on the radar back, Jammy picks, that sort of thing.
Okay. So we've got to do a couple of things before we go.
The polls. We've got
to do the polls. While I set that up, because I still haven't figured out how to do it on the laptop, I'd like to know from you, who is your FPL Game Week 1 Jammy pick? And by the way, we should introduce Jammy pick, because there'll be a lot of people that haven't watched us before.
Okay, so Jammy picks. Jammy picks they're not players that you would necessarily choose to have in your fantasy team. They came about
to say the least.
They came about because I had a habit a couple of seasons ago of just leaving my transfers to the very last minute, going on a Friday night and going, yeah. And I'd just pick somebody random, and it used to really annoy Lee, because he'd go, what's your transfer? And I'd go, oh, it's so-and-so, and he'd be like, for goodness sake, and then they'd score a goal.
The Jammy pick was born 2 or 3 seasons ago when you put Tadic from Southampton, who is sadly no longer with it. He's not dead. He's sadly no longer with us because he's moved on to pastures, isn't he? An FPL favourite from yesteryear, Dusan Tadic. And it was about 2 or 3 seasons ago. And you, on a bit of a hunch, thought that he might do well.
Yeah.
And didn't he get like 2 goals and 4 assists or something?
Yeah.
And it was like a 30-pointer from Tadic that no one else had. And I just remember saying that is the jammiest thing I've ever seen. So the jammy pick, guys, every week Sam will pick out a player, has to be under 5% owned.
Yeah. That's the only rule.
That's the only rule. So it can actually be... So this is a proper differential. Left field, and you've always got some sort of random reason for coming up with it. So who's your game week 1 jammy pick?
Aaron Lennon. I told you last week.
Aaron Lennon. Okay, so there's got to be a modicum of logic here somewhere. So where's Aaron Lennon come from?
Did you watch them in the Europa League?
No, I haven't. Well. I think they drew 0-0 tonight. So.
Well, obviously I haven't watched tonight because I'm doing this. But against Aberdeen in the Europa League the last game, Aaron Lennon played really well. I feel like if you look at the statistics for Aaron Lennon last season, he played something like 13 games. I did write it down. 13 appearances. He got a couple of assists. He's only owned by 0.5%. I just feel like...
How much is he in FPL?
5.
5.0. So he's real
cheap.
Differential, cheapy territory.
I just feel like with Aaron Lennon of old, back in Spurs days, was a great fantasy player. Often popping up with goals, assists, this, that and the other. And I think, for me...
Tom Sheehan, Lennon didn't start tonight.
Oh, did he not? Well, there you go. Maybe not. But that's because he's going to play on Saturday. Well,
Jerry Fried actually saying Lennon has a hamstring problem.
Oh, does he? Oh, I didn't know that at the time. I told you this last week, didn't I? On Sunday it was going to be my jammy pick. So we'll stick with him. But yeah, I think. Is
there any others on the radar?
Well, Danny Ings now isn't it?
Well, Danny Ings I think has to be. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think for me, even if he doesn't play this weekend, Aaron Lennon is someone to keep an eye on over the course of the season. Other ones that I had in there, then, if in case he's not going to play. Who else was I thinking about?
Can I say a couple from the community?
Yeah.
So, Amwonit is saying Sturridge, jammy pick. You like that? Is he under 5%? I guess he is, because no one's picking Sturridge as one of your Liverpool players, but he's looked pretty good in pre-season, so I like that, Amwonit. Pranoy, I think he's saying Mitrovic.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Borderline jammy. Borderline jammy.
He's probably... ownership might be high on him.
Okay. Who else we got tonight? King is pretty popular. Hudson-Odoi at 4 million for Chelsea. Don't see him getting any game time now that Hazard's staying. Ryan is saying my pick is Jota, okay, but I don't think he's going to be under 5%.
Too expensive.
Leo is saying Will Hughes for jammy pick, kind of like that, if he's under 5%, which I think he would be. Notorious Nerd is saying Son before he goes off to the Asia Games.
There's no point though, because he's only around for one week.
Yeah,
maybe, pick. I don't know.
So that's a jammy pick. Who are you going for your captain for Game Week 1?
Salah.
Okay, and the question I asked you at the beginning was, if it wasn't Salah, who would you have as captain?
What if Salah didn't exist and you didn't have him in the game?
Well, if say he was injured or something or banned for Game Week 1, who would you have from your team?
Firmino.
So you would still stick with Liverpool. You're pretty strong that Liverpool are going to get a result.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing to consider here is that if I didn't have Salah in my team, I'd have Kane, and therefore I'd probably captain Kane, to be honest. But
okay, so guys, tell us in the live chat, if Salah wasn't available in FPL Game Week 1, who would your captain be? Because in the poll, 91% say Salah, which, I mean, it's a silly question, really. We knew it was going to be Salah. What I should have asked was, if he's not available, who's going to be there? Aguero, 2%, Sanchez, 2%. So there's a little bit of love for those guys, but, you know, undoubtedly, the runaway captain choice is Salah for Game Week 1. So tell us in the live chat, if Salah wasn't around, who would your captain be? And while you do that, are you ready for the new FPL season? Yes, locked and loaded, 24%, nearly there, 58%, 14% still need some work, and 2% of you are saying help with capital letters. So the majority of the community are nearly there. Where would you put yourself on that scale? Not help, surely.
No, I think I'd be in still need some work. Because the bones are right. It's just my fillers that I need to sort out.
Very good. Okay, very good. I put myself locked and loaded. I think I'm there, with the exception of the Eriksen decision and the Mane thing, and then what happens to Firmino as a result. But you know, I'm there, I think.
Well, that's fine. While I'm having a panic in a minute, you can just sit and eat some cake.
Very good. Oh, birthday cake time. Yeah, very good. Very good. So, guys, let's see who you guys are saying. If not Salah, then who else? Morgan Larson. Morgan, good evening. He's saying Mane. Good shout, I think. Jeff is saying Eriksen for the moment. Okay.
Jeff.
Let's see.
Yeah, but I think Jeff didn't have Salah in his team last time I saw.
Okay. Karam is saying Josh King. Very good. Okay, I like the sound of Josh King. Who else have we got? Josh telling maybe Hazard to go massive differential. With what's going on at Chelsea right now, that would be real differential territory. I kind of like it.
It's almost jammy, that is.
Cy Greggs, good evening, Cy. How are you doing? He's saying Mane as well. Vasu is saying Sanchez. Okay, Sanchez is going to be popular, I think. Karthik is saying Aguero. Absolutely. Marcus, King, captain this round. Goodness me. A lot of love for Josh King. A lot of love. I know he's had a good pre-season. Goodness me. A lot of love for Josh King. I'm on it. Hazard versus Huddersfield for me. Very good. Leo Aguero, Vinit Aguero, Gino Aguero. Let's see what else. No Salah, Aguero or King. So a lot of love. It seems to be Aguero. Seems to be Josh King, or maybe Ericsson as a sort of third punt. So guys,
nobody went Rondon then.
No one's gone Rondon. No,
it's a shame, really, isn't it?
No one has gone Rondon. Clearly, guys, I think we are out of time for tonight. But again, once again, thank you for joining us. Another really, really fun live stream where we've loved interacting with you guys. If you haven't already, like I said before, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Head over to FPL Family on Twitter. Let's find the Twitter page. Here it is. FPL Family on Twitter. So have a look at us on there. This has gone from something like, I think I went to bed at 4,700 and we've overnight and today got something like 300 or 400 new followers. So guys, thank you if you're new to FPL Family. Thank you for following us on Twitter. Head over to Instagram if you want to interact with Sam at FPL Family on there. And also, as we mentioned at the beginning, we have kicked off a new FPL Family Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, if that's your thing, if that's your preferred social media, head over to there, search FPL Family, no ats or anything on Facebook, FPL Family, and you will find our page. We need to put a bit of content on there, but it's coming.
There's a link to our last video on there, but
excellent.
That's it.
Once you've sorted out your team, we're going to sort out the Facebook page.
I tell you what, I'll post my team on Facebook first. How about that?
All right, that's a good shout. That could be the first piece of content. Absolutely. Yeah. So guys, that is it. That is it for tonight, and that is it until kickoff.
We'll see you to reflect on Gameweek
tomorrow night. Anybody that is tuned in and doesn't know that the FPL Game Week deadline is tomorrow night,
7 p.m.
Goodness me, please turn the volume up on your phone right now or on your laptop. It is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Do not wait till Saturday to make your changes. It is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Manchester United versus Leicester City. We will see whether the press are going to be all over Mourinho or whether this is just mind games and actually they're going to smash Leicester 3-0. Who knows? And then on Saturday, a full load of fixtures. On Sunday, a load of fixtures. And then Sunday night, 8 p.m, we will be back with a Game Week 1 review. Same time, Sunday night, 8 p.m. We look forward to seeing you then.
And it's time to wish everyone green arrows.
Green arrows. Good luck for the Game Week, and we will see you Sunday. Cheers, guys.
Take care, everyone.